balance force and unbalanced forces. So can you imagine if there are more than one force acting on the object, what will happen? Firstly, let's consider the diagram we call the free body diagram, which showing all forces acting on an object. For example, if a person holding a bag, when a person holding a paper bag, there is a force applied by the person to put it up, but actually there is also another force of gravity pulling the bag down. So there is more than one force acting on the bag at the same time. And for example, let's consider this. If we consider the free body diagram of the football, that means the force diagram on the ball. Now, because the goalkeeper is applying a force to stop it, so can you imagine there is a horizontal force acting to the ball towards left so that it can stop the ball from going into the goal. So this is the force between the goalkeeper and the ball. So the force is applied by the goalkeeper, which is the horizontal force. But it is not the only force. Can you think of an other force also acting on the ball? Now, since this picture is taken on the earth, so we can imagine there must be a weight of the ball so that it will pull the ball down towards the ground. This force is always exists if it is on the earth. We call it the weight of the ball. Or if we follow the textbook here, we may also call it the force of gravity of the, we can also call it the force of gravity, okay? Now, so this is the force diagram. When there is more than one force acting on an object, then how do we predict the motion of an object? Now here is an example. If you can see if there are two applied force applied on the trolley horizontally, if the two forces are balanced with each other, then the object is at rest. If the object is already moving, then it will keep on with that speed. So this is the effect of the balance force. What if the force is unbalanced? That means if these two forces are not the same. So when the two forces are the same, we call the balance force. If their two forces are not the same, we call it the unbalanced force. So if there are balance force acting on the object, the motion of the object will change. So for example, if there is a applied force is larger to bring the trolley to the right, while there is a smaller applied force bring the trolley to the left, then it will result to start moving towards right. So for another example, if we consider figure A, if we have a larger pushing force to the sofa than the friction acting on it on the ground, then we can imagine the sofa may start to move to the right. So this is the effect of the unbalanced force. And for the figure B, when someone playing the bungee jump, if the force acting on the cord is larger than the force of gravity that pulling the person downward, we can imagine if the person is flying downward, then the player will gradually stop because of the greater unbalanced force pulling it up. So it will stop it from falling. So this is the effect of the unbalanced force. When the forces acting on an object is unbalanced, we will observe something like this. So as a summary, we call the free body diagram, which is the force diagram, to show all forces acting on the object. If the balance force is act on a body, that means all the forces are balanced with each other, then the object will stay at rest or in a uniform motion. That means or it will move in a constant speed if it originally is moving. And if there is a unbalanced forces acting on the object, that means the forces acting on it are not balancing with each other, then the motion of the object will change.